Hello, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming back for another video. I always appreciate that you guys are here. Gosh, I've been doing this for a long time, so I appreciate every one of you that has really tuned in over these years. You know, it's been a wild journey, right? So if you're new to the channel, and hopefully you will be tuning in through more years. And this channel really is all about moving to Costa Rica. So if you're interested in moving to Costa Rica, like my job here is not to convince anyone to move. Thing is, people are moving regardless. Whether I exist or not, people are moving to Costa Rica. So if you're going to, what I want to do is try to save you from making some mistakes. I like to save people money and just offer that support and peace of mind and kind of letting people know that, yes, you can do this. Or, hey, actually you can, but why don't you do XYZ first so that it goes a lot more smoother for you. So that's what I do over here. We do relocation, scouting trips, retreats, podcasts. So the information to all those things are going to be down in the description. You'll also find information on our services with like the relocation and scouting trips and retreats. I always have all prices on the website. So sometimes people will be like, oh, what's your price? It's right there. Very transparent. So all the information down for you is below in the description. If you are interested in working together, you can set up a call and we can chat. Okay, so today's video, I'm excited about it because we're going to be going to my Facebook group. So if some of you are not in the Facebook group, I will have the link down in the description too. It's called Moving to Costa Rica. Sometimes I'll ask, there's actually a lot of moving to Costa Rica groups, so definitely go to the one that's in the description below because there are so many of them now. But I would like to say I was the OG of the Moving to Costa Rica group. There was no others. When I started mine, there's over 50,000 people in there. So freaking cool. So actually, I think I did a video of like the thanks for the 50,000. What I'm excited to share with you guys today is I asked a question about what is the one thing that you wish you knew before moving to Costa Rica. So also a lot of people that I work with don't have Facebook, so maybe I can, and again, honestly, I wouldn't have Facebook either if it was an option some days, so I totally get it. So at least I can read to you guys, some of the responses here, and I hope that you'll find some helpful nuggets. I might tell you if I agree or disagree with them too. So why don't we get into it and look at some of these questions. Okay, maybe I'm going to rapid fire through some of these. And sorry, these are going to be responses. We're going to look at some responses that we got. Someone said there's no good cheddar cheese. So I've struggled with the cheese selection in this country myself. I've definitely weaned myself off the cheese over these years, but yeah, I will say I'm a little disappointed in the cheese section. If you want really good cheese, you can find it, but you're going to have to pay for it for sure. That power and shop tools are so expensive here. I would have loaded my whole shop into a container, import duties or no. So that's interesting. Yep. So that's a good one too. I would say power tools, things can definitely be more expensive. Someone else said, learn Spanish, respect Costa Rican culture, take care of nature, and don't be a part of gentrification. So yeah, learning Spanish, integrating with the culture is very important. That's what I did. I learned Spanish. Took me time to become fully fluent as I am now. That's okay. It's a whole nother language. Gonna be easier for you to learn when you're finally immersed in it. Definitely respect the culture, understand the cultural differences and the nuances because it's gonna make your life a lot easier here. And just be aware of your community and how you're also affecting the community around you. Someone said 80s music everywhere, buy private health insurance. So even if it's something in case of accident or emergency, I do also say buy it. Because even if you have an emergency and you end up in the public hospital, you might walk away with no bill or you might get a bill. So it just depends. Someone said how important Spanish is, especially if you're in a relationship with someone who does not speak a lot of English. I learned that the hard way through my years here. Someone else said, actually this is one of our clients, that the Canadian dollar was going into the toilet the way it has. I would have bought a lot more colognes a long year ago to hedge. Someone else said, I wish I had known to move here years ago. There you go. Here's another client of mine. The true cost of living, Canadian dollar devaluation adds to it. So this is, I guess, a theme that we're seeing with Canadians and the Canadian dollar. So I guess once you do these different exchanges, it really devalues the Canadian dollar, which of course has an effect on things. This is a really good one. Someone said the mold had our clothing and belts, leather goods in the closet. Didn't even think of the humidity as I never lived in a humid country. I was in Jaco at the time. And one day I looked at my things and there was mold growing. Vinegar, baking soda, and alcohol were a godsend. I did have to toss a suede pair of shoes. Next place we lived, there's a dehumidifier. Game changer. That's one thing I never thought of. Yep, totally. So, and also, it depends on the home. I lived in a house before I built this one. The back, like my back bedroom was actually very humid because there was a lot of foliage and plants around that particular room. So I did have to buy a dehumidifier because I was getting mold under the bed. So yeah, definitely mold can be a thing. Luckily in this house, I feel like enough sun hits it. I don't have any rooms that are particularly too humid that I haven't had that issue. But those are good ways to combat it. Okay, someone said it's the most expensive country in Latin America. If you like to eat out, the food is super disappointing. I will say Costa Rica is not cheap. It's not. And I'm not ever telling people it's cheap. Personally, I do believe that my cost of living here, let's say for the style of life that I live here, it would be cheaper to live it here than in the US. But of course it depends on where you're coming from. I was in, Virginia, and certain parts of Virginia can get pretty expensive. So it just, that depends. Someone else said too many gringos. And I want you guys also to know, there are people obviously learn some things that that maybe aren't the best. Not all of it's sunshine and rainbows here. All right, someone said if I had to do it all over again, I would buy a cell phone with 2 SIM card slots before leaving the USA. Now, a lot of with the newer cell phones, for example, I just got I upgraded my iPhone a few months ago. And now with the new phones, you can have eSIMs. So you can have multiple SIM cards like in your phone without physically having the SIM card. Someone says they wish they knew Spanish. So really learning Spanish prior to your move, I would say, is very, very important. One says, trust what a gringo tells you that's been here for years. If not, you'll regret it. Hey, I'm that gringo. Trust what I have to say. Of course, I do base a lot of what I have to say on my personal experiences, but also collective experiences, people around me, clients I've been working with for years. So don't reinvent the wheel, learn from others. Someone said they wish they'd known how great it is so they could go there sooner. Someone else said too many Americans. Someone said to avoid car salesmen, all of them. Someone else said Spanish. So I'm seeing some common, definitely Spanish. A lot of people are wishing that they had known Spanish perhaps earlier. Someone else said they make easy hard. And this actually cracks me up because there's been a lot of times where I've said kind of as a joke in my brain or like a little bit out loud, like Costa Rica, where they make easy things hard. It's sometimes so true. Sometimes the simplest things they just make difficult. And I'm not complaining. That's okay. Hey, like when I'm living here, you think about what are the pros, what are the cons? Like where do they add up? Yeah, that's a con, but it's fine. It's something that I can live with, and that's okay. It's just kind of an observation, and I've also had the same thought, so I find that kind of funny. Someone said that they should have earlier. Well, those are all the comments. So hopefully you guys learned something from here. There's definitely some common themes. Some people might think that there's too much of a North American influence. I will say Costa Rica definitely has become a melting pot of everyone. You have people from Europe, people from North America, people from other countries have moved here. Not everyone's going to move and stay. But that is a thing. There are areas you can go to where there aren't as many. A lot of people think of moving to Costa Rica and they might think, oh, I want to be by the beach. But there are other areas that are primarily more Costa Ricans that are not by the beach, that are more in the mountains where services are available. So I like to think there's kind of a place for everybody. But the thing is, Costa Rica is not for everybody. So what I would say, a big takeaway I would say would be coming down on some trips. So if you're thinking about moving to Costa Rica, you think, come down on a trip, come check it out. So like I design scouting trips for people who are thinking about moving. And people usually fall into 2 categories. They're either know that they want to move and they're just coming on the trip to check out areas, or they are not sure. They want to come down, see different areas, see if they like the culture, they like the people, if they find an area that they like as well. And then if that's the case, then yeah, we plan it on out. Those are fun sessions. I like to get to know everything that I can about the person. From there, we pull out the map. We can start talking through all the different areas. I don't know why this thing keeps going off. I'm sorry for the noises. So yeah, if we can pull out the map, we start talking through the different areas, why or why not I think they're a good fit based on what the person tells me. And then I really like to dig into someone's day-to-day life. I want you guys to imagine, what is your average Tuesday going to look like? What's your average Saturday going to look like? And just making sure that those areas are going to fit with your hobbies, with your lifestyle, maybe even lifestyle changes. So a lot of people are moving for a lifestyle change, so take into account for that. But also take into account that a place is not going to change your lifestyle. In a way, like, it can get you better for sure. Like, it can help, but it's not the be all to end all. So like if you really want to change your habits and your lifestyle, that definitely has to come from you, and you might as well start practicing that right where you are versus just waiting for this move to Costa Rica. Because I remember I did a little bit of that. There's some habits or lifestyle things that I thought, okay, well, I'll just change them when I move. Did they change? No, they didn't. So even now, we're all like a work in progress. I always have my things and habits and lifestyle that I'm, trying to be consistent at, just like everyone else. And this is a great place to do it, being by nice people, nice weather, good community. So it definitely is a very kind environment for those trying to do that. But really the ultimate thing is you. And yeah, if you're thinking about coming down for a scouting trip, you want to explore certain areas that really could be for you, and you don't want to just come down and wander around and be like, okay, where am I going? What am I doing? I hope I'm in the right area. Let me know. That's what I do. We plan out those trips. If you're relocating and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to move, like, some of these people wish they'd moved sooner. Maybe it seems overwhelming and you're thinking, oh gosh, like, I want to move, but what all goes into it? Well, it could be a little bit more simpler than what you think. We make a month-to-month plan that's very easy to follow. We provide the support along the way. So we make the process as seamless as possible. There always will be little things that usually will come up, but that's life, and we help our clients navigate them as they come up. And yeah, if you're curious about joining one of our retreats, we have another one coming up. Always exciting. And the podcast. So link to the podcast is down below. If you're interested in the services or you want to talk about working together, you can book a call. All right. Thanks again, guys. And I'll see you in the next video.